Welcome into 𝗟𝗏𝗦𝗧 Tarot. I'm Patty. I'm an intuitive, a reader, and a healer on the twin flame path myself, here to read you a message for your twin flame journey. I believe that if you have found this video and this channel, you've been guided to do so. If you love the content, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of the tribe. Make sure that you tap into your intuition. Make sure that you are following your internal guidance. It's really important. And every thumbs up to the video is so valuable. I love every one of you. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and get into the reading. Welcome into this week's mirror message. I am so happy you have found it. Welcome into my beautiful subscribers. I'm so happy to have you back. And welcome to all the new people finding the channel. We're growing every day. If you're new to the mirror message, this is for twin flames in challenge or separation. And it is the he said, she said spread that talks about each counterpart's headspace, heart space, and what they're going through right now. That can be blocks or challenges or what they're about to go through. Okay, so please, if you love the energy of the channel and the reading style, hit that like on the video. That is so genuinely appreciated for everyone that does that. Please subscribe and become part of this beautiful community. I also do zodiac readings, so make sure and watch for those. If you want to skip this message in future, the timestamp will be in the description to go right to the message. I am getting into a very channeled state right before I read. It's just a new format that I'm doing, so I can go right into the reading right from meditation. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the reading. Welcome to this week's mirror message. I am so happy to be back. I've been out for a couple of weeks dealing with a medical issue, trying to heal from an injury that got complicated. And I will be reading a little bit different than usual. I can't do as much shuffling, but I didn't want to wait another couple of weeks to come back and at my normal self. So my right hand is less mobile than usual, but I can use it. I just have to be careful with that arm. So my style of getting messages might be different, but the messages will come out just the same. I've been meditating on the twin flame journey reading that we're doing today. The overall energy, it's interesting what I got shown, because I get shown cards. So I know I'm going to be reading cards, but I get shown cards. But the really interesting thing is I saw a 6 of hearts. I'm seeing like poker cards. So poker might be a thing for someone. But I'm not seeing typical tarot cards. I'm seeing poker cards. So I saw the 6 of hearts, just like you'd see in a casino. And I saw the Joker, but I saw the Jokers out of my own deck in my kitchen. And one of them is marked high and one of them is marked low for playing. That's something I did a long time ago. I think it's for spades. But there's something about the high Joker and the low Joker, and I'm seeing that. Those are the cards that I got before I started. So what I'm getting from that, the Joker is equating to the Fool, and the 6 of Hearts is equating to the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is my twin flame card. So we definitely have a twin flame situation. Of course, this is a twin flame reading, so that's no surprise. It's just confirmation. But the high Joker and the low Joker, I'm feeling that the positive aspects, the upright aspects of the Fool and the reversed aspects of the Fool, and how we're coming kind of full circle in that twin flame connection with that. So there's this energy that we start off with those high aspects of the Fool where we're meeting our twin flame and we're just jumping in with our whole heart and having that. I want to cry. I'm just feeling really emotional. Hold on one second. Oh my gosh, I need water. It's really choking me up. So you have that initial meeting where you meet your person, and it's just they're everything, you know. You have that magnetic attraction like nothing else that you've ever felt. And if that magnetic attraction hasn't been there for you, where it feels like a love like you've never had for anyone else before, you may not be in a twin flame connection. So you need to really look at that. I feel like there's a few people watching that are questioning that. When you're in a twin flame connection, you are attracted to that person like no one else on the planet. You can be attracted to a lot of people, but this is special. It's different. A lot of people can be special. This is very different. So you have that initial fall, the initial fall where the fool takes that just jump off the cliff with their whole heart, you know, not knowing where to land, just trusting because you trust this connection more than anything. And then it gets reversed. And then in the separation, it gets reversed. And it goes to the low aspect of the fear. The fear takes over. And one of the biggest things that we have to learn in this journey, one of the biggest things you have to learn as an individual in your own lifetime to ascend and to raise your vibration is to conquer fear. Is to move through things in spite of fear. It's, you know, they say that the proverbial they, don't ask me who, but there's a saying that bravery only comes in conjunction with fear, because if you're not afraid, you can't be brave. There's nothing to be brave about. And there's this ascension comes with fear, because you're moving past fear when you ascend. And in this twin flame connection, whoever this is resonating for the twin flames, it will not resonate for every twin flame on the planet. But if you're guided to this reading, it has something to do with you. Could be the whole message. It could be a piece. It could be something you need to take away from it. But there's this feeling, that separation where that fear takes over for a while. And you have to conquer that on both sides. The divine feminine has to conquer that fear of abandonment and that fear of not being good enough. And that fear of being alone. And that fear of never being loved. Divine masculine has to conquer that fear of abandonment. That fear of being alone. Fear of not measuring up. It's a very different fear for divine masculine and divine feminine. Divine feminine has the fear of not looking good enough, not being enough in you know, there's kind of a different fear. It's the feminine aspects of the fear. And the masculine has those not making enough money, not being as, you know, powerful as the next guy kind of thing. Jealousy, lots of jealousy. But then as we move through the journey, if we do the work, we learn to transmute the fear. And we learn to turn it back to the high aspects of the Fool, the high Joker, right? Where you start to take that leap of faith again, and you take it in your own path. I mean, Divine Feminine takes it in her own path. She jumps off the cliff with trust in spirit, to trusting that spirit has her back, not this time, not just this person. Because that first time you jump off the cliff with your twin, you're just trusting them to catch you. Spirit probably isn't so involved, but by the time you get to transmuting that energy, it's like you're trusting the universe, the whole universe, to have your back. And with or without your twin flame, you're good. And you guys both have to get to that place where you can get back to the high aspect of the Fool. And Divine Masculine's on his way to that place. Divine Feminine's at that place. She's already, I feel like Divine Feminine's already walked over the cliff, right? And Spirit is giving her wings. Divine Masculine's on his way to that place. And I feel like he's not that far behind. This is really nice energy. Okay, so let's see what cards we get. Because I'm channeling before I start the reading now, I wanted to use a really simple deck. So this is the Tattoo Tarot. And the cards are really, really simple. Like the Ace of Cups is 1 cup. The Two of Cups is 2 cups. So there's not a lot of imagery on the minor arcana like we have in a lot of the decks that I use, like the 𝗟𝗜𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗠 or... but I wanted to use a simpler deck this time to force myself to channel more. Because I need to, the tarot cards, I always talk about being training wheels for my intuition. And I'm moving more towards channeling and less towards relying on imagery to spark my channeling. I channel no matter what. But I want to see how that goes. So I just flipped over the 8 of Coins, which is putting in the work. I look here in this reading, I'm putting in the work. And I just want you guys to know that. My journey, I'm going on my journey while I do these readings for you too. So that's something to remember. All of the readers that read for you are on their own soul journey, and they're learning and growing as we're helping you learn and grow. So it's just something to remember. I'm very real about things. I don't have any desire to separate myself out from anyone else. We're all equal. We are all equal. Okay. So I got to stop shuffling. It's such a habit to shuffle. It's starting to ache. Okay. So we're going to start off with Divine Masculine's headspace as usual. And I'm just going to fan the cards and we're going to pull. Divine Masculine's headspace here. We got the 7 of Swords. Divine Masculine's heart space here. The Moon. Possible blocks or challenges for Divine Masculine right now. Things he's working through or needs to work through. Ten of Wands. Wow. Divine Feminine's headspace. The Empress. Nice. I was just remarking, I got this deck today. I just got this deck. I've never used it before. And I was remarking how much I like the Red Empress. That card. She's wearing a red dress. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need a poster of this. I love it. Okay. Divine Feminine's heart space. What's representing Divine Feminine's heart space? The 3 of Cups. What is Divine Feminine working through right now? Blocks, challenges. The Fool. We got the Fool. Okay. That's interesting. I'm going to clarify with another deck. We're going to take the bottom of this deck for Divine Masculine's overall energy. And we've got the King of Swords. Sorry if I sound a little low or I'm being a little slow. I've still got weeks of recovery left, but I'm just not comfortable waiting to read anymore. I'm not taking any more pain meds, so my head is fine. We're going to use the After Tarot to clarify. So I'm going to shuffle just a little bit. And then I'm going to fan. Okay, clarify the Seven of Swords in Divine Masculine's headspace. What's he thinking? Clarify the Seven of Swords. The Sun. Clarify the Moon in Divine Masculine's heart space. The Six of Cups. So far the two cards that I channeled have come out. We got the Fool here and we got the Six of Cups here. Clarify the Ten of Wands and what Divine Masculine is working through, his blocks or challenges. It's right here. The Two of Swords. Clarify the Empress in Divine Feminine's headspace. That's that one. The Hermit. Two major arcana in Divine Feminine's headspace right now. It's pretty significant. Clarify the Three of Cups in her heart space. Qualify that her is not female bodied. It is an energy. Doesn't have to be anyway. The Eight of Cups. Clarify the Fool. I'm really interested in what's going to come out there. Clarify the Fool in Divine Feminine's headspace. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay. And I'm going to use an oracle deck for... I'm going to use multiple oracle decks for a second clarifier. I decided. So the bottom of the deck energy is Divine Feminine's overall energy. And we have got the Three of Pentacles. And I'm guided to move this and use the second card as well. Ace of Wands. Okay. We're using the Map Oracle. It's also a new deck that I have. I'm just going to shuffle it a bit. I'm not ready to take anything yet. I'm going to cut now. Okay. So, clarify. Okay, it's not going to be for everything. So I'm using the maps for Divine Masculine's, what he's working through. Storm fields. And then also for Divine Feminine, what she's working through. Sacred Pool. Okay. Okay, and the next one, making a choice. All right, I'm going to use Island Time Wellness for the other ones. It's going to be for everything else. Let me shuffle a little bit. I actually don't need to shuffle when I'm cutting at all because I'm going to cut anywhere in the deck. The only reason I shuffle like this is for the skeptics out there that think that I stack the deck, although this is 3 decks, or 4 decks or something. This is a lot of decks, so there's no way I could do that. But, you know, in the words of the great John Edwards, who I've been watching his cross-country show. If you guys don't watch John Edwards, he's amazing. You should try him. He's he deals with people that are connecting with people that have passed over. He's a medium. And I don't know what else he does, but that's his main gig. And he has a show, you can look it up, called Cross Country. It's wonderful. He's teaching people. He's not just doing readings and collecting a paycheck. He's teaching people. And I greatly admire him for the way he goes about things. He's wonderful. His words to the skeptics are, quote unquote, bite me. And that's about how I feel about that. However, I usually don't speak that way to people.
I have a lot of empathy for people, and I try and meet people where they're at. So if you're skeptical, that's cool. Be skeptical, you know, that hopefully that won't change forever, but it won't change forever. It won't stay that way forever. Okay. So I'm going to cut, and we're going to clarify the Seven of Swords. And we've got lightning. I'll just hold them in one hand. Okay. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I got to put this down. Okay, I'm just going to cut this way. Clarify the moon. We've got Cupid's arrow. Clarify the Empress in Divine Feminine's headspace. We've got dating. Interesting. And then clarify the Three of Cups in Divine Feminine's heart space. Clarify the Three of Cups in Divine Feminine's heart space. And we've got seduction. That's an interesting choice. I was kind of feeling like that was going to come up, so that's interesting. And then we got, I'm going to take blast from the past with it because that was right under seduction. Okay, let me put these back. They're going all over the place. All right, we got what we needed from Island Time. And then I'm going to read. All right, so let's look at overall energies to start. For the overall, okay, yeah, I need the bottom of the deck of the map. Golden Palace, and I'm just going to leave this over to the side because that's going to finger in. Okay, let me get some water. All right, King of Swords, overall energy for Divine Masculine. Okay, so again, channeling. These are very simple cards. There's not a lot to interpret from the imagery. There's a little bit. I'm getting incredulity from Divine Masculine. His eyes are bugging. Like, I can't believe that happened. There's some tower moment. I didn't get the tower here, but there's some tower moment in Divine Masculine's life right now. And remember, this isn't linear. I mean, if it was great last time and it's more challenging this time and it's great again next time, and it's a twin flame journey, man. or girl. Whoever you are. But it's not linear. Remember that. And it just like life is not linear. It's great one week and it's challenging the next week, and you know, one week you win the lottery and the next week, you know, I don't know. It changes up, right? The energy changes, but I like it when the energy changes because that means no stagnancy. It means things are moving. I'm not a big fan of stagnancy. So there's this incredulity. My masculine. Something happened for Divine. I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to laugh, okay? I'm not laughing at your Divine Masculine or mine or whoever we're reading for. Something happened that's making his eyes bug out. And he's not mad. It's just like, have you ever seen something and you're like, what? What? There's this what moment? Like, I can't believe I just saw that. And it's something he actually saw, like, physically, or a message that it came to him, and it was so, like, a slap on the back of the head, like, out of nowhere. And something happened out of nowhere for the Divine Masculine, and he's just like, it's like something happened, and I'll get to it in a minute, but something happened here, and something was revealed to your Divine Masculine that I feel like he would have never in a million years imagined could be true. Okay? And it's like his sword is up against his shoulder. Like, he's so bugging out that he's not even defending himself against it. He's just like, swords back, like, oh, it's like a reeling feeling, like, oh my God. I feel like it's a total life change. It's one of those things, one of those moments that come up that just your whole life, it's a before and after moment where everything is different. You know those moments that you have, like when you graduate, you know, school or something, and it's like your life was one way for a period of time, and you did all that work, and it was all routine and humdrum, and you had stagnancy, and you worked and worked on something, and then this event happens, like graduation, and then boom, the next day, your whole life is different. You never have to go back to school again. And now you got to figure out what you're going to do with your life, and that's the feeling of this. It's just like, but it's, a graduation is expected, like you work toward the goal. This is not expected. This is just like lightning strike. I'm seeing a lightning strike. Tower. Lightning. Here. This headspace is all to do with what just happened. But his eyes, I hope that this focuses, but if you can see his eyes, they're like, he's looking down at something, and he's looking down over here, and the eyes are like pointed down over here at his side, at his life. It's just like, whoa. Okay, sorry. It's almost like unbelievable. I mean, it would be like, you guys watch Game of Thrones? I'm just watching Game of Thrones for the second time. Because I'm sitting around doing nothing for weeks. And so what do? You rewatch everything. And I can't move around a lot. Anyway. And if you ever watch Game of Thrones, Arya Stark plays this game called the Game of Many Faces, and she actually wears different people's faces. Kind of gross, but seems normal in the show. But there's these scenes where she's going up to someone, and then she reveals herself by pulling her face off. And it's like that. It's almost like if your divine masculine was dealing with someone and they were wearing someone else's face for like the whole time they knew him, and he thought he knew who this person was, and something happened and they just like pulled off their face, or someone came up and pulled off their face, and they're like someone else completely underneath, and it's just like, excuse me? That's the energy, you guys. I know this is a very different reading. I need more water. Hold on. Swear to God, I'm not on any pain meds. I'm not crazy. This is what's happening. So I'm not delusional. Yeah. It's always the ones that say that they're not crazy that are, so I should really take that back. Oh gosh, I don't know. If you're on the twin flame journey, you have asked yourself if you're crazy so many times. So you feel me, because we all do, because it's when you're saying that you ask yourself that. So let's look at divine masculine's headspace with this energy in mind. Okay. This golden palace is going to finger in on divine masculine's side. I can feel that. I'm going to move it closer so I don't forget that it's there, because it's important. So headspace, 7 of Swords. So as simple as the artwork is in these Tattoo Tarot cards, all it is swords. Look at, there's 6 swords that are in like a half of a heart. And that half of the heart is kind of lodged into this one giant sword. 6 of Swords is about getting to a calmer place. The Ace of Swords is about clarity. So actually, I would break this card up into an Ace of Swords and 6 swords. So clarity, giving you the ability to get to a calmer place. But it still is 7 of Swords, so it's after some kind of deception, which ain't that crazy because of the overall energy from Divine Masculine with this King of Swords here. There's someone in Divine Masculine's life that was so deceptive, that had him so snowed. Back to Game of Thrones, by the way. If you don't watch it, you're not going to understand what I'm saying, and I'm sorry. So hoodwinked. Okay? So they had him so... Hold on. I'm getting all these Game of Thrones references, and I'm going to throw them out there. Just like you have never seen the show, okay? So I use the word snowed. one of the main characters, it ends up being kind of like the main character, and I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, is Jon Snow. And Snow is the last name that they give everyone that's born out of wedlock. They're, you know, but bastard. Stupid word, but it's got kind of an old medieval feel to it. I don't want to spoil it, but I am going to say one thing, and it could spoil it, and I'm sorry. Fast forward if you don't want to hear it. But turns out Jon Snow is not the illegitimate child that he thought he was. There was a cover-up about a child. For someone, the deception was about a child. I'm making a connection there because I said it, and because I've got all this going in my head. I'm making a connection that for someone, this person that Divine Masculine was dealing with, this deceptive person in his life, deceived him about a child. And I am fairly sure it's about paternity. Like he thought he was the father of a child, and he ends up not being. For someone. This is not for most of you. But since I got that reference, I need to throw that out there because someone here is going, oh my God. And that's the truth for someone. For most of you, it's just someone deceptive in Divine Masculine's life. That part is common to all of you who this will resonate for. But the thing is that Divine Masculine was kind of stuck like glue to this person that was being deceptive. This Divine Masculine was devoting himself to this person in some way. Lover, friend, wife, husband, family, whatever. But this deceptive person, because the mask came off, and because now he can see, as crazy as it is, he can see. Unbelievable. It's given him, with this Ace of Swords here, it's given him the mental clarity now to get to a calmer place. He can get away from this person now. It was like the key. Finding the key. I'm seeing my Finding the Key card that's in my Oracle deck. This mask coming off was the key to this Divine Masculine getting the mental clarity to get to a calmer place, to leave a crazy situation. Whoa. And clarifying the Seven of Swords, we got the Sun, which is the happiest you can be. And we got lightning, sudden change, shocking news, epiphany, surprise, upheaval. So that all jives together. There's a major tower that just happened for Divine Masculine that blew his socks off. I mean, just totally took him by surprise. He had erected, this is where the Golden Palace comes in. He had erected kind of this, I'm seeing like chocolate coins in my head. I'm seeing chocolate coins. You know how you get those, yeah, you know, the chocolate covered in the gold foil, and they look so pretty and they look real, and then you know, they're foil. They're not really worth anything, and the chocolate's wax. Nasty. Unless you get the C's ones, those are really good. But, you know, normally, ones that you buy, I'm a chocolate connoisseur, so. He had built this golden palace, this kind of home, and he's kind of like a patriarch kind of person. He's the builder. He's the one that set things up in this situation. He set up a home, and it was a chocolate coin facade. The gold on the palace was like foil. It wasn't real. It was all based on that. What's inside the coin is wax chocolate, nasty chocolate. I'm sorry, but I keep having the reference. But like, what was the foundation of this thing wasn't real. It looked good until you figured out what was inside. Just like this person looked good until the mask came off and he could see what was really in there, and is like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. But look, this whole situation, this whole crazy, I don't even see him crying here. I just see his eyes bugging like, what? And I'm sure it's affecting him emotionally, but it's more like, oh my God, it's finally over. It's like I can get off the merry-go-round. It's like leaving an acid trip, you know? Not that I would know that, but from what I imagine. It's getting off an acid trip, really. Getting the clarity through lightning, through this sudden change, to get to a calmer place, to get away from this, to have real happiness, like real happiness because of this situation, because of whatever was revealed. And this is all that's taken up his headspace right now. How could anything else be in his head right now except for this situation? Nutso. Whoever this is for, oh my God. This is a crazy week. Heart space, the moon is like, what's going to happen next? Man, his heart space is all about divine feminine here. Divine masculine's heart space is all about divine feminine. The moon is the divine feminine. I don't know if you know that, but the divine feminine is always going to be represented by the Empress or the Moon for me. Sometimes she's one of the queens, but it's the Empress and the Moon are the major divine feminine cards for me. The Sun is divine masculine here, okay? If we're using them to represent people, and here I'm using it to represent a person. So in his heart space, divine feminine, the Six of Cups, the twin flame connection, and Cupid's arrow, having faith, love is coming, surprise invitation, meeting, a little hesitation because, oh my God, this was crazy. His heart space is all on divine feminine right now. This other person or this other situation is no longer taking up any heart space. This knocked him awake. Whatever this was, it's like a big giant slap across the back of the head, like, woo, you are awake now. Yeah, his heart space is all about divine feminine, all about having faith that love is coming here. Surprise invitation. He's figuring out how to surprise divine feminine. Wow. Knocked. Have you ever heard of being knocked senseless? He just got knocked into his senses. It's the opposite. Wow, that's crazy. I haven't had a reading like this in a long time that was this, like, I'm feeling, this is why we had that coming full circle in the beginning. This is why we had that coming full circle. We had the Six of Hearts, which is the Six of Cups here. And then we had the Fool, which was that amazing love in the beginning, that just powerful, this is my person. And then the separation. And then we're coming back full circle. Now. Okay, what is divine masculine working through? Ten of Wands, putting down all the burdens from this nonsense. Two of Swords, making some choices here. And storm fields, weathering the storm that is coming from this revelation. So now, because of all of this revelation that has happened, it's now divine masculine has to deal with the fallout. 10 wands from all different directions. And they actually make like a little fence here. It almost looks like a garden gate or something. How they're all knit together, they're woven together. And now divine masculine has to deal with the fallout of the revelation. And he's got to make a choice. But look here. Look at what's in this card. There's two masculines with swords crossed and a feminine with her eyes blindfolded. And a storm. For some of you, there is competition for divine feminine. And I saw that over here, but I hadn't seen it over here until I really looked at it. But with this Two of Swords card, there is competition, at least in divine masculine's mind. he's feeling like he was blind to the possibility of ever getting to be with Divine Feminine because of the situation that he was in. He felt locked into this golden palace that he had built. He felt locked into this life that he was in. What's underneath Golden Palace but commitment? He had a commitment here. He made a commitment. He was not going back on this commitment. He was building on this commitment. But now, now we've got listening and wide open. Listening and wide open after this shock. Check that out. Listening. And what do you know about elephants? What do you hear about elephants? Elephants never forget, right? There's this movie. I like movies, right? So there's this movie. What's the name of it? Some of you guys will know it. It's one of those teenager movies, and I love it. 𝗣𝗨𝗥𝗖𝗞𝗦. It's called 𝗣𝗨𝗥𝗚𝗖𝗞𝗦. I've seen it like so many times. And there's this scene where the male lead goes into this little theater in the zoo, and he's with the female lead, and there's this little video playing of an elephant whose baby died on a trek somewhere. And then, you know, of course you have to leave the baby's bones there, right? The baby had to be left there. The elephant left that place. When the elephant came back through that place, it recognized its baby. Just the skeleton of its baby, and it was crying. It was mourning the baby. You know, elephants are extremely emotional and extremely intelligent, just like people. And it was grieving, and it's like an elephant never forgets that kind of love. And Divine Masculine is waking up and realizing he's never going to forget this kind of love. He's listening to Spirit now. He's listening to his own heart for the first time, maybe in a long time. His heart space is all about Divine Feminine. But here, he's dealing with the blockade of the fact that there might be competition for Divine Feminine now, and that's causing a storm in his life. Not only does he have to deal with the fallout of dismantling this fake golden palace, but he's got to maybe contend for Divine Feminine's heart. For some of you, it's not going to be for all of you, but for some of you, that's an issue. If it's not reality, if Divine Feminine isn't dating someone else, married to someone else, involved with someone else, he's thinking she is. Okay? It's his fear. It's a fear. And it's a big one. All right. Divine Feminine's side. Divine Feminine's headspace is all about the Empress here. Divine Feminine's headspace is so evolved in this connection. Divine Feminine's headspace is quiet, and it's calm. It's comfortable with the journey. It's comfortable with where they're at. It's comfortable with she's at. This is the after tarot. So, oh, sorry, I gotta use my other arm. Boy, I might have to pause here in a second. I'm gonna try and get through it. Hold on, give me a second just to move around a little bit. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the after tarot. So it's not the traditional hermit. The hermit is no longer just looking down. The hermit is now taking action. The hermit has actually picked up the snake and the dog and is moving away from isolation. And so it's like taking the bull by the horns. Divine Feminine is in such a good energy. She in her life now understands the journey, and she understands her need to just trudge. Not even trudge. Trudge is such a bad word. Now I'm on A Knight's Tale. Oh my God. Stop. Okay, what do I need to know about that? Hold on. A lot of movie references in this one, but that's sometimes I either get movie references or get song references. It happens all the time. Today is all about movies. In A Knight's Tale, one of the characters is Chaucer, the poet, the actual poet, but you know, it's a fictional version of him. And they meet him, and he's naked, and he's walking down the road. And he meets the main characters, and he just like walks by him naked, and he keeps walking, and the guy turns around and he goes, "Sir, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm trudging." He goes into the definition of trudging. It's really funny. So there's something about that I need to bring up. Oh my gosh. Okay. Chaucer in the movie has a gambling addiction. He's a gambler. And remember at the beginning of the reading, I was saying I'm seeing poker cards. For someone had a gambling addiction here. Someone, like not everyone, but there's someone watching the reading for whom maybe Divine Feminine, but actually feeling Divine Masculine had a gambling addiction or gambling problem or played poker too much or gambled their life or gambled something. Anyway, neither here nor there. Just that I feel like I was supposed to say that because that was supposed to come up because Chaucer had a gambling addiction and we had the gambling reference in the beginning. Anyway, back to Divine Feminine. I need more water. Sorry. Okay. So Divine Feminine is not trudging through her life, but she is moving through her life. She's surrendered to the connection to spirit, trusting the universe to be guiding her where she needs to go. She's listening to her guide. She's listening to her heart. She's listening to herself. Divine Feminine's in great energy here. She's out of isolation mode. She's not hermiting. She is putting herself out in the world. For some people, Divine Feminine is contemplating dating or is dating. Okay? Is contemplating it, is talking to new people, is dating. Not all Divine Feminines, but there is this aspect for a lot of you. Okay, so this fear over here from Divine Masculine might have some real basis in reality. It's an energetic feeling. And I'm going to go, oh gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to go over to the Three of Cups. In Divine Feminine's heart space, Divine Feminine isn't just dating with the intent of playing around. Divine Feminine is, if she's dating or she's considering dating, it's with the intent of finding a soulmate, because she doesn't know when Divine Masculine's going to come around. She can't see any of this. She may feel energetic changes, but we actually have a shield that goes up in some parts of the journey, and it's a divine protection, and we can't see what's happening on the other side. We can't know what's happening, and there's a reason for it. Is because you're supposed to go on faith. You're supposed to surrender and trust spirit and not just be watching every step of this journey over here. For some of us, it's the whole journey. For some of us, it's just pieces, but there's a shield up right now. Divine Feminine can't see when Divine Masculine is going to work through his things and if he's going to come forward. And so Divine Feminine is doing what she's supposed to do. She's moving on in her life. And one of the things that some of you Divine Feminines are out there are really actually considering letting a soulmate into your life if one comes for you. Eight of Cups, it's this feeling of having invested so much in the twin flame journey. And look at how she's picked up one of those cups and she's looking into it, and there's this feeling of consideration. She's considering, I invested so much into my twin flame connection. I invested so much into my Divine Masculine. Nothing has come back. And I know I'm supposed to move on with my life. a lot of divine feminines are considering, and we've got the Three of Cups here, which is sometimes called a third party card. I want you to remember the third party doesn't necessarily mean an interloper. A third party means a third person. It's another person. That's all that means. That doesn't mean that person is bad. It doesn't mean that it's negatively karmic. That person could be positively karmic. Remember, karma isn't good or bad. It just is. Karma, all karma is a scale. And it's a self-balancing scale. So if you put a lot of good out there, good is going to come back to you. The scale is going to balance out with more good. So if you have two empty scale, oh, I can't do that. If you have two empty sides of a scale and you put a bunch of good on this one, karma is going to put a bunch of good on the other side to balance that out and bring it back to you. If you put a bunch of negative out there on the scale, karma is going to bring you a bunch of negative to balance that out. That's all karma is. So it can be good or bad. It's just a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your actions. It's a reflection of what you put into the world. That's all karma is. So when we look at the Three of Cups, third party energy, it's a third person. It's me, my divine masculine, and possibly letting a soulmate in, because who knows what's going on with divine masculine, or if he's going to, in this lifetime, overcome and learn and come forward, if he's going to choose that. Maybe divine masculine has decided to choose a soulmate energy himself. It's perfectly acceptable to do, because whatever choices we make are our choices. We all have an individual path. Just because we're soul tied doesn't mean we don't have our individual path. And, you know, none of it is a mistake. All of it is something that we learned from. It's not about whether something happened and it broke your heart. It's about whether something happened and you learned from that. And that's what it's all about. So there's this feeling of divine feminine considering right now. She's considering letting a soulmate energy come in, and she's really weighing it out in her heart space. And then look here, we've got seduction and blast from the past. Could be someone that divine feminine has been in relationship with before is coming back around, and it might not be divine masculine. Could be that divine masculine comes back after she's in with attraction, flirting, dating, seduction here, attraction, flirting, dating, third party, after she's involved with a third party. And then masculine could be coming back, and she's weighing that out, like, what do I do? Do I move forward with someone knowing that I might have to put an end, to put a period to my twin flame relationship if I get heavily involved with the other person? If my heart becomes engaged with a soulmate, I may not choose to go with divine masculine if he comes back from the past. There is this feeling divine feminine understands that she may be putting a period to that, where for so long she left it open, hoping, but no movement, and she can't see anymore. And it's like, am I going to spend the rest of my life waiting, which we know waiting energy isn't healthy? Am I going to go on my own and just leave space for divine masculine? That's a viable option. Or am I going to let a soulmate in? And I see the possibility of letting a soulmate in, someone that could be good for her. I see her weighing it out right now. She may have already met someone here. If divine feminine hasn't met someone here that is a soulmate energy, I feel like they're coming in. I feel like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this reading. If this is resonating for you, if this is your reading, you either have met someone recently that can be a soulmate for you, or they are about to come in. And there's this energetic feeling where divine feminine is opening the gate for them. She's weighing it out. So it's coming full circle. It's divine feminine weighing out. Is she going to jump off the cliff toward another person? Is she going to in, you know, coming into her challenges right now, what is she working through? The Fool. Just what we got in the channel message in the beginning. The high aspects of the Fool. She went from the high aspects of the Fool in falling in love with the masculine. And then she went through the low aspects of the Fool in that separation. And now she's back around to the high aspects of the Fool. In that, and for those of you that don't know tarot, that's that preparing to take a leap of faith into a new direction. She could take it towards the divine masculine if he comes back. But I'm seeing here she is very much considering taking it towards someone else. And then factors to consider, you know, the clarifiers here are the Nine of Pentacles, that independence. Or is she going to just be independent? Is she going to go towards the soulmate energy that I see coming here with dating, with the Three of Cups? Or is she going to take off in a direction where she's on her own for a while? And with Sacred Pool here, I really, really want to focus on the word pool. Well, sacred, the whole thing. If you think about the people that you meet in your lifetime, I mean, okay, let's say you're on a dating app, right? And how many people do you scroll through on a dating app? It could be thousands of people. How many people do you meet out at work or at school or in public or wherever you are? I mean, so many people that you meet. And out of those people, how many of those people have the potential to be soulmates for you? Probably just a handful. We're not meant to be attracted to everyone that we meet. I mean, that's why we have preferences. You know, people get mad at each other for having preferences. Sometimes they're physical preferences. Sometimes they're educational preferences. Sometimes they can be anything. We have our preferences for a reason. And our preferences guide us to our soulmates, our romantic soulmates. And sometimes those change over time. I know that when I met my divine masculine, I didn't know his face for a long time. Like when I first met him, I fell in love with his essence. I fell in love with who he was, and we were friends first. And we got to be best friends. I mean, we were closer than I can explain. But it took a while before I saw his face. We actually met online. And I had no idea it was going to end up being my divine masculine. But by the time I got to know him, and by the time that we fell in love, his face was my favorite face on the planet. I mean, apart from my daughter, it was on the same par, you know. But, you know, he was my preference. And there's so much about him that is my preference, my natural preference. And I think we have our natural preferences because they guide us to our soulmates. I genuinely believe that. You know, and I'm not talking about being vain or anything. I don't care about physical perfection. But there are things about people that call to us. There are things that we recognize in looking in someone's eyes into their soul. There's things we recognize. And so don't ever be pissed off at people for their preferences because they're there for a purpose. But talking about Sacred Pool here, I mean, out of all the people you meet in your lifetime, there are only a handful that are really soulmate energies for you, and how many of those are romantic? So there is this sacred pool of people that are kind of meant for you, and your divine masculine is the highest level person in that pool. But your divine masculine is not the only person in that pool. And so there is this feeling of someone coming out of that sacred pool for the divine feminine. And it's like, is she going to take a leap towards a soulmate energy from that sacred pool? Or is she going to stay single? Is the divine masculine going to come back? We don't know, but there is this definite deliberation here for divine feminine. She is very much looking at the possibility of putting a period. And it's not out of exasperation for the journey. It's not out of frustration. It's literally out of doing her life. She can't see over here where the Divine Masculine is like full force. There is just this giant aha moment that just happened, and his heart is all about her now. And now his worries, what he's working through, is the possibility of losing her to someone else. Energetically, somehow, if the Divine Masculine can't see it physically, he energetically knows that this is happening. And if this isn't happening for some of the Divine Feminines that are resonating for the rest of this, it's about to. This is coming up. Okay? So, looking at, sorry, one second. Looking at the overall energy for Divine Feminine, Ace of Wands, passionate new beginning. Passionate new beginning. And there's this lizard in the Divine's hand, and it has all these spots. That's no mistake. It's a chameleon. I'm sorry. It's a chameleon here, and it can change. What I feel like this is saying is the Divine is handing the Divine Feminine the choice. And I just did a private reading that was just like this. If you're watching this, you know who you are. Because this is saying exactly what we said in your reading. The Divine is handing Divine Feminine a choice, and either way she goes, she is supported. The Divine is handing her a choice that is changeable. She can choose any of these options. She can choose the soulmate, she can choose the Divine Masculine, or she can choose independence. And whatever she chooses, she is supported by the Divine. It's not going to be a wrong choice, is the overall energy. And then we have the Three of Pentacles here as a classic third-party card. So we have the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles are the two classic third-party cards. So we do have another contender for Divine Feminine's heart and life right now. And not just her heart, but actually I feel like her life. This soulmate is someone that she could spend her life with and be happy. And then what was the other card we had for her here? Making a choice. There is this choice for Divine Feminine. And what do we have here? Me and my ego. Pride, fear, not contacting you but thinking of you often. Replaying, oh, this is for Divine Masculine for sure. Divine Masculine has to get over the ego because she is making a choice. This is really, really telling me that it is time for Divine Masculine to snap out of the pride and fear that has kept him in the way of Divine Feminine, because she has got a choice to make. And if he doesn't come forward by the time she makes this choice, she could very well be putting a period to this twin flame journey. For some of you, for whoever this resonates for, you're going to know this is true. Me and my ego's got to go, Divine Masculine. Divine Feminine's already had to put her ego aside. She's had to deal with that too. We all have to deal with ego. We all have it. It's not a Divine Masculine exclusive. And what's really getting to me here is this replaying over and over in my mind. Divine Masculine is in this stormy headspace right now, worrying about losing the Divine Feminine. And the real problem here is the ego. It's the fear. It's a pride getting in the way. Divine Masculine here is going to have, I'm going to put this right in the middle. Divine Masculine here is going to have to decide whether they're going to stay in their head about this or whether they're going to take some action. Wands are all about action. Ten of Wands is about a burden. But look at, I want you to pay attention to the card, the way that it's shown. See the Ace of Wands in the middle of all of those wands? Divine Masculine is going to have to decide if he's going to unlock this and drop all those other wands and just take that Ace of Wands forward and be the one that she chooses, that the Divine is holding out this choice for her. Because the Ace of Wands is here, the Ace of Wands is here. This is what he's working through. And this is the problem right now. Will Divine Masculine overcome the fear? Will the Divine Masculine come full circle on the Fool and be where Divine Feminine is. Will he catch up before she puts a period? There are certain people in your life, there are certain soulmates in your life that even though you love your divine counterpart, if you come into relationship with them, you're not going to want to let them go. You're going to build something strong and beautiful. And maybe you'll come into friendship or peace with your divine counterpart. But the energy I'm getting here is romantic. These are people that want to be in a romantic relationship. If you don't want that, this is ideal. Because Divine Feminine can go off with her soulmate and come into peace with the Divine Masculine and she's fine. Or she can be on her own. That period doesn't matter. But if we're talking about romantic relationship, gotta get over the fear. Gotta go get over the ego before it's too late. I mean, time is just a construct, right? I mean, we're here for a blip. We are eternal beings. And I truly believe that. You know, this lifetime is just... it's just a blink in all of your lifetimes. You can have lots of chances, but what do you want to do with this life? What are you going to do with this life? That's the question here. And that's the question at hand, because this is the life we're in, and this is the one we got to deal with. And you got to decide what you want this lifetime to be, because even though time is a construct in the continuity of things, it's not here in this lifetime. We do have a limited amount of it, and we have to decide what we're going to do with this beautiful opportunity that we have. All right. That is your mirror message this week. I hope this has helped you. This has been a really interesting one. Thank you for being so patient with me while I was gone. I hate missing all this time. And I'm really, really glad to get back with you. Zodiac readings, I'm going to try to catch up. I don't know if I'm going to get them all done for January. I might have to do like bonus readings for February for some signs. So I'm going to try. I don't think I can do more than, one every day or two here. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me, letting me be part of your journey. We are stronger together. We're better together. I really believe that. All right. Hit the like. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Oh, individual card pulls. I'm going to have to catch you on the next one. I don't have the energy or the strength to do it. And I'm so sorry. I don't mean to do that to you, but I'm hurting now, so I got to go. But anyone that asked for an individual card pull on the last mirror message, I'm going to double up and get you on the next one. Okay. Love you.